Another NFL star is furious and wants out of his current situation. Should Monty Ossenfort pick up the phone? And Marvin Harrison Jr. has missed back-to-back practices, but don't get too worried, Johnny Venerable.
The Cardinals called on Micah Parsons once before. Will they do it again? PHNX Cardinals on a Friday starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends at Circle K. The PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier #1 Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He's Brack in Studio K. Noah Man behind the mic. The fellas just got back from Glendale, breaking down training camp, and usually 9 times out of 10 ahead of the red and white scrimmage, that's where we would start this program. However, the folks in Dallas had different plans. Before we get to that, how we living, my guy?
We're living well. I want to say hello to the sports boys, Ozzy, Schaff. How about I'm Hin, Ryan Walker, Jacob, Chris Gervais, love it, Aaron. Sounded like Key and Peele there. Hey, Aaron, Alberto. How about Irv Gotti, like it, Snacks, the squad here on a TGIF. That's right, but kind of a Thursday-ish Friday because we working tomorrow. We got the red and white scrimmage out there in Glendale State Farm Stadium. It's going to be fantastic. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting today's conversation. Micah Parsons firing up the old Notes app, going scorched earth on the Jones family. Don't hate it, but what does it mean for the Arizona Cardinals? And then, of course, the guy that's been dominating camp, a little bit subdued out there again because we didn't get our daily dose of Marvin Harrison Jr. Dominating Cardinals defense.
Yeah, Bo's got some insight, hopefully, on MHJ. We're going to get to later in the show. We're of the mindset, spoiler, that Marvin's just fine, just taking some time. We're going to take some time to turn the clocks back. Just about a year ago, the Arizona Cardinals were missing multiple pass rushers at the NFL trade deadline. The Cardinals were sitting, I think, at a robust 6-4 at the time of the trade deadline. They had lost B.J. Ojulari to an ACL. They lost Dennis Gardeck to a knee. And Darius Robinson, as we know, was not close to being all the way back from his calf injury. Their front seven was in shambles. And inevitably, they ended up with Baron Browning. And I think a lot of us were a little disappointed, right? And maybe that move works out long term. They're still working on that. I
heard Nick Rallis talk about Baron Browning today. Oh, my Lord.
Goodness. Yeah. I hope it results in some sacks. Would love to see that.
Go on.
Yes. And the Arizona Cardinals, however, before they inevitably, I'll call it settling for Baron Browning, settling for what was truly available, they called the Dallas Cowboys, among other teams, and inquired on Micah Parsons. I don't know if picks were discussed. I don't know contracts. I don't know whatever. But they 100% unequivocally called on Micah Parsons at the trade deadline. You can take it to the bank. I will stake my reputation on this show that they called. And they were told no. Jerry Jones and company, Stephen Jones, whatever kind of clown show they've got going on, told Monty Ossenfort, we're not interested. And listen, if you read between the tea leaves, our friends at DLLS do a great job covering the Cowboys. Ain't nobody better than that beat report that they've got going on. Like, they have entertained trading Micah Parsons before. It was never something they entertained with Dak or CeeDee Lamb. However, with Micah Parsons, 100% unequivocally, they have thought about it. So, again, kudos to Monty Ossenfort, Bo, for at least extending the olive branch to which they said no. So, again, that's where we start en route to right now. We fast forward to August of 2025. There is no contract done. I want to bring you guys back to March of this year. Mike Garafolo joined this show. Here's the clip. Let's see it, Noah. Okay. Mike, real quick before we get you out of here, Do you feel like with Dallas, Micah Parsons, after seeing that Max Crosby deal yesterday, like, are they set up to be in a position maybe like Cincinnati where they potentially have to deal Micah Parsons? Or do you feel like Jerry's going to eventually get that done?
I'm greater than 50-50. He eventually gets dealt. That's where I am.
He gets dealt or gets done?
That he gets dealt, traded. Wow. Until you convince me otherwise. And there just hasn't been enough action on their part. And having talked to all the people involved in the world, this is already starting to go the way that we thought Max Crosby was going to be first. Then it was going to be, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, and everybody keeps saying that Parsons is going to be last. So there's no rush on the Cowboys' part, and there's no rush on his part, and they haven't had any. But if there's not, right, and you're starting to sense like, when are you going to try to get this done? To me, it's still the other option being available. And I know that they've tried to poo-poo it and downplay it or whatever, but to me, I'm looking for the potential for Micah Parsons to potentially be part of the trade market as we go along here.
He was right on all of that, right? I mean, as far as Micah being kind of the last in line, continues to be there. I think that where it got a little different is when the conversations began and then there wasn't a sense of urgency. There's clearly like a sense of urgency on the behalf of Micah Parsons, his agency, Athletes First, David Mulugheta. We've seen that, I don't even know his agent, press clip from Jerry Jones, and that can, really kind of the start of this thing to get ugly.
Yeah.
But I mean, Micah Parsons, even though we talked to our guy Clarence, who does such a great job covering this Cowboys team for so long. Yeah, he's the best. Jerry Jones finds a way, right? And we've seen with these pass rushers this offseason, as hairy as things got, those pass rushers were retained. Myles Garrett put out a statement. It was, a nicely worded letter, trade me Browns. And then there was that, here's $40 million. He said, thank you. And then he's like, I am happy here in Cleveland. It's always been the Browns. TJ Watt, $44 million in total this season. He's getting paid from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, so many pass rushers, but like this one just feels different. Like, I know Mulugheta and his clients, like, things get ugly. They get theatric with their negotiations. Remember, like, Jalen Ramsey rolled up to Jacksonville Stadium in a Brinks truck at one point during negotiations, but they figured out a way at one point. But it just seems like this has gotten ugly. And today's Notes app post from Micah Parsons, man, I mean, it just felt like he's not happy, and I don't know if this is like irreconcilable differences with these two parties.
So some context. So like Micah has tried to talk to them for like the entirety of the year, the entirety of the offseason. And Jerry went behind his agent's back and basically tried to do an under the table, let's just call it like cheapy deal with Micah. Yeah. And again, Micah's agent was telling him back in January, February, wait, and we can get more money. And Micah's like, no, let's just do it now. I don't care about being the top of the market. And that's all true. And I think that's why Clarence came onto our show and was very emphatic, like, this will get done. And Mike Garafolo basically said the opposite, said that they're going to drag this out. I think that, I mean, they are not motivated to do something. Otherwise they would have done it, right? Let people speak with their actions, not their words, right? Like we talk about all the time. Like the Cardinals can say, like, we've changed our habits offensively, or we're going to do this, this, and this. If they don't throw Marvin Harrison Jr. 10 targets a game, like it doesn't matter what they say. I think the same goes for this. Is if you've got Dallas out here who they're like not returning the agent's phone calls, and so this feels like the ultimate slap in the face. So I don't really want to speculate like, will they sign him, will they won't sign him. I think we've reached a point where Dallas has roughly 6 weeks to the start of the regular season. That's the timeline for this. And I also have heard some rumblings. I listened to DLLS earlier today. Like they're in the negative for cap next year. They have negative $5 million committed to their cap. Dak Prescott's cap hit next year is $74 million. $74 million. Then you've got CeeDee Lamb right under $40 million. Then you've got like Odigizuna, who they just signed, and Tyler Smith making $20 million apiece. They have no money. They have negative monies, right? And so you consider that, and they don't, and they've been on the record about this, they don't want another huge salary cap hit like on their books, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a life you can live with Micah Parsons on your roster. Micah Parsons is going to get 40, 45, $50 million a year.
Yeah.
They don't have that money. So like, I know everybody says this is going to get done and they're just waiting to the last minute. Like, okay, why haven't they done it? Where's this money coming from? I think this was the exact card Micah Parsons needed to play.
Yeah. To play in order to do what though? To stay
to get dealt. To get dealt. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in a cap league, at some point you got to start paying mortgage payments, and you just can't kick the can down the road. I mean, Jerry can to an extent, and they could probably add a bunch of void years, but as far as the way that they have really kind of dealt with the cap, like you just mentioned, it's a mess. Like things are an absolute mess. And for them to like try to what Micah Parsons, the way he phrased things, he basically was just calling the Jones family like a bunch of snakes, like
liars and snakes.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, though, like how can they kind of get on the same page? It's by paying him, the richest contract at his position in the history of the league. It goes easier said than done because of what they face as far as their salary cap going forward. It's just like you can only afford to pay so many players. That's what people like about the strategy of team building in this league. How are they gonna be able to figure that out? CeeDee Lamb signed his contract, I think, at the end of August before the start of the season. And I think he was going into, was it his 5th-year option year?
Yeah, something like that.
It's very similar. And I think the Cowboys are just anticipating just riding this bull all the way until it bucks them, and then they'll just put the deal together.
I mean, Micah's going into his 5th year this year, so he's playing on his 5th-year option. So he would have to be franchise tagged next offseason.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that
yeah, they're not out of bullets. They're not, which is crazy, right? Which is crazy that they could still pull that off, and you could have a very disgruntled now. What would the season look like between now and then? Bill Barnwell tweeted this out today that Micah Parsons went on the field. The defense pretty good for the Cowboys with Micah Parsons there. Without 11 on the field, what are the worst unit in the league? In the league. It's not like Trey Hendrickson where it's like he's there, there's still a bad defense, he's just a productive player. Micah Parsons is the straw that stirs the drink as far as the defense, and without him, they're a lost unit.
So let's talk the Cardinals angle and what would this mean? So you had Diana Rossini, who said teams are begun to inquire. And you've got Kansas City, she said, as one of the teams that would be in play. I checked numerous sports books. The Cardinals are consistently within the top 5 best odds to trade for him. Now, some of these sports books are a little Looney Tunes, and they've got Washington and Philadelphia in there, there's no world that happens in the division. And there's some reputable ones that have the Cardinals like 1A, 1B. And again, like we've put this out there for the better part of, last 9 months, that it's something the Cardinals explored. And I've been a big proponent. I think that even with the addition of Josh Sweat, I would have supported a run, would still support a run at Trey Hendrickson, which the Cardinals inquired on more recently in March. The difference here is, yes, it's more money. Micah Parsons is 26 years old. Trey Hendrickson's over 30 years old right now. You're going to get the peak years of Micah Parsons for the better part of almost a decade to where Trey Hendrickson is right now. So with that being said, the Cardinals are still top 3 to 5 in the NFL in available cap space.
Yeah.
They've got maneuverability the next several off seasons. They have all of their draft picks secure, and they've got assets on the roster, guys who are in their first, second, third year that could be moved for a player like this. So I thought it would be interesting to look at potential packages that we feel like we would entertain to get this done. And I think before we look at the player side of things, what do you think would be a reasonable ask from Dallas to Arizona in terms of draft compensation?
2 firsts.
You think it would take 2 firsts?
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy that his production is off the charts.
Mm-hmm.
His durability, he missed his first games at the NFL level really last year. He missed 4. think Jerry said he's mid-6th. He was just wrong.
Making stuff up.
Incorrect. Yeah, he was. But like double-digit sacks each and every year, just uber productive. He's one of the best. He's, I think, one of the top 5 best football players on the planet.
So you're getting him again at 26 years old. So 2 1s, maybe a 1 and a 2, and an additional, compensation. So I put together a list of Arizona Cardinal players that I think could be used as, I don't want to say sweetener, but if you're Dallas and you're like, we have to appease our fan base, we need help. This is how, they're just run by such buffoons over there. Yeah. Like if you're going to trade them before the draft, get compensation, get a first in 2025. You're sitting on picks if you're Dallas until next spring. It doesn't help you right now.
I preface it by this, like, I haven't even seen these, and to think that like any player, no disrespect, to steal from my co-host's playbook, no disrespect, any player that would be outgoing Arizona, incoming to Dallas, that would ease the wound that trading Micah Parsons would create, it's not, nothing's gonna do it. It's Luka 2.0 in the same city.
Well, yeah, I think you're just.
Harrison would be the happiest man alive if the Dallas Cowboys traded Micah Parsons.
I think
in his prime too.
You're conceding if you're a Cowboy fan, like we're gonna get a package that's not as good as Micah Parsons is for the next couple of years. It's like we always quote this line from Argo. It's like the best of the bad ideas. What's the best bad idea? Yeah. And again, like, do you want to trade with Kansas City, a team that could win the Super Bowl this year? Like I mean, the Cardinals, we're hopeful, can win 10, 11, 12 games. Certainly with Micah Parsons, that feels very feasible. But you just never know, right? Now, I get it. It's in the NFC. So here's a list that we put together. I'm just going to call it some sweeteners. Everybody needs a sweetener because we know the bones of the trade would come in the form of the draft picks. So available players potentially. If Dallas called, what would make sense? Well, I got 4 outside linebackers, edge rushers on this list: Ojulari, Zaven Collins, Xavier Thomas, and Jordan Burch. Yes, I know Ojulari is on the PUP list. He made an appearance in practice today, but we're going to get to that here in a little bit.
Right.
You can't, people are saying trade Baron Brown, and you can't trade Baron Brown, and you just signed him. I don't even think it's like feasible within the CBA. Zaven Collins is a very team-friendly deal. You just extended him a couple years ago. Like that's something that would make some sense. Xavier Thomas, couple sacks as a 5th rounder, and then Jordan Burch would probably fetch the most return, top 100 player from this year's draft. So you could tell your Dallas fandom, like, hey, this is a guy we got this year. He projects to be a starter eventually. And then, of course, I've got everybody's favorite 6th round D tackle who wants to kill me, Dante Stills. I put on here again.
You couldn't help yourself.
Ascending player, productive player. This is a compliment. You go back for Micah Parsons, you're a good player. He's having a great camp. And then lastly, somebody recommended this on Twitter. It wasn't even in my line of thinking. I think it's a great recommendation. Dallas's running backs are still egregiously bad. They're awful. Trey Benson out of the ACC. We know Jerry watches a lot of ACC football. Florida State could come in there and compete as their RB1. So these are the players I think that you could attach to a robust package in exchange for Micah Parsons. Again, every player on this list, if they were homegrown by the Cardinals, at some point has started for them or has played meaningful snaps. And then you've got, Zaven Collins, who's, he's a starting caliber, run defending edge rusher.
I love all these guys. I think they bring value to the Arizona Cardinals roster. Yes. I think you could combine all those players and they would still say no. Like you could throw that entire package at Dallas and they'll say, yeah, no, we're good. We'll take one.
No way. With picks?
I mean, yeah, your sweeteners would probably have to be that plus.
Right. That's
unbelievable.
Those are the sweeteners.
That's yeah.
Sweeteners. But I didn't want to say these are throw-ins for these guys have big time roles for the Cardinals.
Yeah. The biggest issue is Barnwell's point with his tweet as far as how valuable Micah Parsons is to that defense. Because otherwise it's just they're paying all these guys, Dak, CeeDee, Diggs, who was the offensive lineman that you mentioned? Was it Smith?
Yeah.
Like they're paying all these guys an unbelievable amount of money, and they're not going to be realistically going to be able to compete because they can't play on the defensive side of the football?
I don't know. I feel like now is the time. If Dallas, you've dragged your feet this long, and you're clearly not serious about paying him what he deserves. You have a new defensive coordinator, right? Didn't they fire the last guy from a year ago with McCarthy's DC?
Yeah, it's Matt Eberflus.
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, I think there's like talk that Micah Parsons wants to reunite with Dan Quinn. You can think that Micah Parsons, like they're not giving you to Washington. Like Eberflus does not deserve Micah Parsons. Jonathan Gannon, on the other hand, Nick Rallis, who we're going to hear from. Again, I wanted to have this conversation. I can tell you're not in the mood to have this conversation.
No, I'm in the mood. I
think you're out of the mood.
I would love to entertain the idea, daydream about Micah Parsons playing for the Arizona Cardinals. I would. Yeah, I mean, but look at this franchise and its history of being stubborn. I mean, they're being stubborn to their own detriment, to where they don't care how their player views them, and he's just going to destroy them in the public eye. But are they going to relinquish one of the best players, like of all the people that they've signed to extension?
But why haven't they signed him yet? Why haven't they even signed?
I think that's a $1 billion question with the Dallas Cowboys. That's whatever their valuation is. You know, what is it? $10 billion question that organization is worth. Why are they like they are? Why is Cincinnati like
why are you the way that you are?
Yeah, it's frustrating, I'm sure, to all those players, and that they have to go through this unbelievable circus to get to the end of a deal and sign it. But look, if the Cardinals, if Monty Ossenfort could realistically get Jerry Jones on the phone, and I don't even know what that looks like. Is it a landline? Is he going to be able to get in through
rotary phone?
Yeah. Is he going to be able to break through the people who are claiming to be Nigerian princes and trying to get more money from Jerry Jones and swindle him? Like, if he can get through and he can get on the phone with Jerry and Stephen Jones, and he can have actual negotiations, trade negotiations, I mean, yes, absolutely go for it. I don't know how if that's possible at this stage in training camp.
It's somebody. Owen said it's a telegram. That's hilarious. 82-year-old general manager. Howard brings up a good point. Like, how would you guys feel if Parsons went to the Seahawks? I would include both the Rams. I wouldn't include the Niners, but I would include the Rams in that conversation. Yeah. This is always a move that they would target. And I've been of the mindset. I feel like with Trey Hendrickson, it's like sometimes you have to make a move to help you, yes, but to block a move within the division. Here's where I'm at with this, because I put it out there this morning, because I don't think I've ever tweeted it. We've talked about it on the show, and we like to reward the people that watch our show. We don't like to always put the information on Twitter first.
Yeah.
Save stuff for this show because you guys are the best. I don't think I've ever put out there on Twitter that the Cardinals called on Micah, but they did. But then I listed Baron Browning's extension and Sweat's $41 million guaranteed, and they drafted the top 100 rusher. It's like, and then I put they've likely moved on, and people were very adamant, respectfully. 90% of the comments were respectful, saying that the Cardinals should never concede pursuing a player like this. And then there were some people in there, especially when this regime is 12-22 going into year 3. And I think there's two ways to look at that. And I want to have this conversation with you. You can either look at that as this team needs to win this year, pressure's on, expectations are here, which we've talked about, or are you in a position where you can give up premium draft capital, and if you disappoint this year and you don't have the ammunition, can you get an heir apparent to Kyler Murray, which I think is a reasonable take, if things go off the rails this year? Yeah. Let's say the Cardinals trade for Micah Parsons, much of the same, around 500, maybe some injuries, but the offense just can't get to that next level. And then suddenly next offseason, maybe you like some developmental quarterbacks, and I like Kyler Murray, and I definitely think it's going to work out. But you want to draft a guy, and you have no assets now because you traded for Micah Parsons. Like, what school of thought do you belong in? Either, neither, both?
Yeah, I don't really buy into either one of those. Like, I think as far as, do you lack the ammunition? Like, when you name off what they've done to revamp this defensive front seven, it intrigues me. I think that there's potential there. I think it can work, and I think it can work at an extremely high level. I think that the defense, as far as the Cardinals go, if you pitted him against Dallas, like I would take just the Cardinals defense as a whole. Would I take Micah Parsons, the player? Absolutely. But I think the Cardinals, as far as the sum of its parts, are more impressive than what, Dallas has been able to put together. So like they've done a really good job without a player like Micah Parsons to put themselves in a position. Like I don't think the organization operates on the idea of we have to prepare for life after Kyler Murray. I think that there is a confidence, a conviction in the franchise quarterback that he's going to be put in a position for success this year and to be consistent week in and week out, to where they're not going to look at team building in the aspect of, well, we have to have this little draft nest egg to potentially pivot at the quarterback position. So
I think that's fair.
Yeah. And another part of this is Micah Parsons himself. The player is unbelievable. I think if you said Nick Rallis, Jonathan Gannon, I think they would just stop you before you even asked the question. They would just say yes.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons, put him in my defense. Just he would be the perfect fit for all 32 the NFL defenses. When you look at the player or the guy, podcast kind of rubs people the wrong way. DeMarcus Lawrence hates him. He's now a member of the Seattle Seahawks. He's no longer in Dallas. Like he has rubbed people. He's outspoken. Like, would they view that as a tremendous con as far as the caliber of player they want to bring in, the team over me, cliche that you hear all the time?
Yeah, to me that I don't know if I buy into much of that. I think that if you want the best, you have to take what comes with it. And he's an unbelievable talent. And there were questions about Chandler Jones before he came here, and he was beloved. But here's what I will say in the defense of people that are wanting to stand pat is we have really not seen this revamped defense yet. So again, Micah Parsons plays over Baron Browning unquestionably over Zaven Collins. But we haven't seen Josh Sweat with this defense. We haven't seen Darius at full strength and Calais and Dalvin Tomlinson and Walter Nolen. So, I mean, the rich get richer for your defensive line. But I also think for the Cardinals, if you're in a position like last year and you need another pass rusher, you can do something similar last year, but maybe a level up from that, right? You can go out and get a pass rusher more realistic at the trade deadline. If you're sitting there and you're 5-3 or 6-2 or whatever it is, and you're like, love Sweat, love all these guys, Browning's not getting it done, we need some more juice. Maybe you vetted Ojulari's not ready to come back, and Birch isn't developing fast enough. Maybe you go out and you get somebody at the deadline. I think I'm very much of the mindset. I still believe if all things were equal, I would think Trey Hendrickson is a little bit more realistic because the compensation is less and the money committed is less. And Cincinnati already was willing to deal him at some point. The Cardinals inquired. I think Hendrickson fits with what they would, I think, their timeline better. An older player, minimal guarantees for the next, 2 years. You'd have to eat it for the next 2 years, and then you could move on. And you're not giving up a first round pick. Whereas Micah, you're basically selling off part of your franchise to do it. So
a ton of draft capital, important draft capital. And then you've got the deal, which is going to be like TJ Watt, as I said, got $44 million this year. You got Myles Garrett, I think, the highest paid in the history of the game at that position. Like those are important variables as far as this. Does it really kind of handcuff your ability to team build? I think that there's probably a conversation of, is the juice worth the squeeze here? Or do we stay steadfast with the plan and all this draft capital we've invested and the players that we brought on, and let's just see how it goes before we pull the trigger on something massive. I mean, this would just shake the landscape of wherever he goes of the NFL.
We got more coverage of this. Plus, Bo is going to give us the latest on Marvin Harrison Jr.'s availability heading into the red and white practice. That and more. It's PHNX Cardinals on a Friday. Talked about betting lines. The only place I go to seal the deals with our friends at Bet365. Never the ordinary. Again, now is the time. If you haven't partaken in Bet365, you haven't downloaded the app, what are you waiting for? We've got preseason action kicking off last night. And again, blink, and it's going to be the NFL season. Ready to roll with new customers getting 150 in bonus bets when you bet 5, win or lose. Sign up now with the bonus code PHNX. Deposit 10. Place a bet of $5. You're going to get 150 in bonus bets. Again, right now, 150 equals $5 bet, win or lose. And you can use those bonus bets on whatever you want. I always talk about, I hate futures. It's my opinion. I can't wait to get a payout. But if it's a bonus bet, it's like playing with house money. You can use it on player props, totals, spreads, and more. Whatever the moment, never ordinary. You got to be 21 years and older, physically located here in the great state of Arizona. If you were someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
If you come into some money from really lighten up the Bet365 app, or you just want to, build wealth for yourself in the future, turn to our friends over at Monarch Money and use the code PHNX for 50% off your first year with an unbelievable tool, we'll call it, Monarch Money, as far as really generating wealth for yourself. It's what Wall Street Journal has called the best budgeting app of 2025. You give you a clear financial picture for yourself. It's like a CFO in your smartphone right now. Go sign up for Monarch Money right now, and you're going to be able to look at your finances and not just kind of make ends meet and go paycheck to paycheck, but really build wealth. It's no longer, hey, let's take a look at the bank account. Oh, crap, where did all my money go? I spent it on food delivery and streaming services. No, it's not just figuring that all out, but also building that wealth. Check them out right now. 30,000 five-star reviews on the finance app. Check it out. Get your control of your overall finances with Monarch Money. Use the code PHNX, monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year with monarchmoney.com/code PHNX.
Everybody drop a like on this video. 150. Let's go for 500 likes here on a Football Friday as we preview the red and white scrimmage. Manana, before we do that, what was the latest out of Glendale, Bo Brack? No Micah Parsons, no Marvin Harrison Jr. yesterday. What's the latest on the Cards' number one receiver?
Yeah, no Marvin Harrison Jr. Today as well. And, we had Jonathan Gannon at the dais yesterday. He revealed that there was no Marv on Thursday and no Marv on Friday. But he did make an appearance at practice, and we did have him yesterday make an appearance as well. Look at Noah. Just get Marv here as he's untucking the shirt. But, watched him walk onto the practice field. He's moving well, Johnny. Like, I know that's a slow-mo and everything looks cooler in slow-mo. But didn't look like he was limited at all. I don't think, and you can truly believe the words of your head coach that he's going to be fine. And they're just being super cautious as far as their second-year wide receiver.
I was texting with somebody today, and overtraining is not good, was the verbiage I got. Marvin Harrison Jr. has been playing football for his entirety of his adult life. It's, as a high schooler going into his college years, he's been training consistently. He's got a long NFL career ahead of him. Like, don't push this. This is a long ass season too, and the Cardinals need him for 17 weeks, hopefully more. Chris, no brace, no boot. I don't even think we're even close to anything like that. No sleeve, no wrapped ice on the knee. I think this is just very much like maintenance and training camp. And if this was, back in the days of 1980s, 1990s, like if a guy had to take some time, first of all, they didn't allow as much time, but if a guy had to take some time, like we didn't know about it, there weren't tweets about it, like, is he going to be ready for week one? Hell yes. Is he? I think he could play, sooner than that. Yeah. The question then becomes, Bo, like, do you believe, based on what you know, that he's going to dress or try to appear tomorrow for the fans at the red and white scrimmage?
I think it's fully possible. I don't want you to determine whether or not you're going out to Glendale based on that. But I think it's certainly possible we could see MHJ return. And if it's not Saturday at the red and white scrimmage, I would be shocked if it's not shortly after that. And look, now the health of Marv becomes imperative after what happened today. Near the end of practice, there was a big hit, and Michael Wilson was on the wrong end of it. Donnie Druin got the angle here. If you're a little squeamish, this is a little tough. He's got the guardian cap there, but he makes contact with Buda Baker's leg. And Buda was able to kind of walk it off. As you can see, he's in pain here. Mike gets up as well. But, looking for an update as far as Wilson. Hopefully get one of those tomorrow before they hit the field for the red and white. But ugly collision there. And we're hoping nothing but the best for our guy, Mike Wilson, as it gets doesn't really get scarier than that during training camp.
Did Buda Baker return to practice?
Yeah, I think Buda's fine.
Yeah. Buda Baker returned to practice. I mean, like we talked about this tongue-in-cheek yesterday with regard to Marv. Like the last thing you want to see is like a transaction that the Cardinals worked out a receiver.
Yeah.
If
you know that. Yeah, and we talked to Assistant General Manager Dave Sears after practice today, and he was asked about the wide receiver room, which has been a topic of conversation, I think, all offseason long. Yeah. I think people are shocked that they hadn't added anybody of note. They brought back Zay Jones. They of course exercised bringing back Greg Dortch, and they like Xavier Weaver, and they haven't made any like big splash additions. Like sure they signed Quez Watkins, and they brought in a guy like Tristan Jackson who made an unbelievable play today in camp, number 86 out there. But like Sears says that there's a ton of confidence in that room. But like I think an injury to one of their two top wide receivers, and that's Marv and Michael Wilson, that is just speculating that they would be maybe interested in a Amari Cooper, or as you saw, Keenan Allen was going back to where it all started with the Chargers. He visited today. So they're not there yet. Like you're hoping for the best for Wilson. It was encouraging that he was able to get it right up, but that's something that had him shaken up. And probably I'd be shocked if Wilson is out there tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, could be Greg Dortch and Zay Jones as your battery with the first team offense. If Michael Wilson's out an extended period of time, you have to sign Amari Cooper. If he can work out and he looks good, anything less than that, because Keenan Allen's a slot receiver. Cardinals have plenty of those. And Keenan Allen looks to be maybe reuniting with the Chargers, the team that drafted him, although that remains to be seen. Amari Cooper has excelled in this offense, not specifically with Drew Petzing, but Drew Petzing was in Cleveland for Amari Cooper's like huge year. What was that, 3 years ago? And was productive up until really last year when that trade happened to Buffalo. Wasn't a good fit there. Like if it comes out like Michael Wilson's got to be out for an extended period of time, you need to work out Amari Cooper. They just said, and we've talked about this, and they've left themselves vulnerable to this, not to play, gotcha ball here with the draft and free agency, but they did not get serious about adding any perimeter talent of note. They re-signed Zay Jones. They restricted tendered Greg Dortch. Marv and Michael Wilson are it at the top of that depth chart. And if you lose one or both for an extended period of time, like this is a window where you could get somebody who is, albeit 31 years old, competent. You're not going to have this benefit 2 months from now. Yeah. It'll be picked clean. There's not going to be any. Amari Cooper probably will be signed in the coming weeks. That's how free agency goes during training camp. Same with like a Will Hernandez. So I think we talked about it last year with the pass rush. Is the wide receiver room the new pass rush? Where if you lose a guy, you're very vulnerable to an offense that already had question marks about that position behind the top two guys. This isn't like the cornerback group where the Cardinals went about 8 deep and we felt good about it. The tackle group, same thing. This is a concern. If it goes beyond this weekend, then we need to have serious conversations about bringing in some reinforcements.
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough to forecast that. You have, I think you got an immense amount of trust in your top guys and intrigue in the guys that you wanted to develop, the Weavers of the world.
Sure.
Like how could you recruit? What would be alluring to a veteran to get in here when at first
money?
Just money. That's it.
Well, you have money and an opening to play right away.
It's more than that. Like nobody wants to come and ride the pine. Like if everything goes perfect, you don't. like Marv, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride, like those mouths to feed in the passing game. Like that's a tight squeeze.
I am all for this year not pushing your chips in the middle of the table because you're the draft and develop team that we've always wanted them to be. But if you go into this year, like last year, shorthanded, and there are options out there to kind of fortify it, at least temporarily, you are not good enough to snub your nose at that. I don't think inserting Xavier Weaver, who has started 0 NFL games and has 0 NFL catches, and Tajon Palmer and Quez Watkins, I don't think rolling with those guys in 13 personnel is realistic for a team that wants to make the postseason this year. Again, there's a difference between trading for Micah Parsons and being all in, and compared to like, hey, we think we're going to be pretty effing good this year, and we just lost the top receiver for a little bit of time. And again, I'm probably being way over dramatic considering hopefully Mike's going to be fine. Like, I need to be convinced that, like, hey, if things go south at a position group, that you're going to come in and work out people that could help you. That is kind of the one area that Austin Ford's had a little bit of a blind spot late in the summer coming up to training camp. He didn't do it 2 years ago until he was forced to with Dobbs and Colt McCoy. And then last year, I know you were, pushing back, rightfully so, on who was available. That pass rush group they opened the season with was embarrassing, and it cost them games last year. And they listen. The end of the day, they had to ship a 5th rounder for Baron Browning or whatever it was. Like, don't be in a position where you have to trade for a wideout now too when there's a couple guys available.
Yeah, it's where we've got your trust in your guys, and you don't want to go overpay for something that could be an umbrella for a rainy day. I just that might never come. It's just I think that's the fine line that you have to walk. I mean, look at what's going on in San Francisco. I mean, people are making jokes tongue in cheek about Andy Isabella, but it's like,
right,
why are the Niners not aggressively pursuing? Because they have guys that at the top of their depth chart that aren't available, but that they would ride with if they do become available. And it's just like Amari Cooper knows, Keenan Allen knows, like they'll be out of a job, or they'll be stuck in purgatory on a roster without an ability to go make plays.
Yeah, I just don't think at this point, if you're a free agent receiver, that's not really up to you. I think that what your role could be watered down.
I mean, it's the conversation we're actually having is like, somebody goes down, it's like, who's the first person they're going to call? Like, we need a starting caliber, wide receiver. Let's give them a call, because they know those are going to happen between now, especially when the games start. Like those opportunities are going to happen. It's inevitable. So I think guys like Cooper, after their window closed to sign.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So Marv, we feel like is fine.
Yeah.
And is coming back within next couple of days, if not tomorrow. We get notice that Michael Wilson's out, right? Yeah. And it's a stinger, and it's like pup worthy or IR, whatever you want to call it this time of year. And again, this is extreme. What do you do? What does Bo Brock GM do in that circumstance? Is it just like Zay Jones goes into his role and you bump Greg Dortch up? Is that you feel comfortable doing that for a team that's got to make the playoffs this year?
Yeah, okay. I mean they still add somebody, but I think it's still going to be the person they're adding is not going to.
It's a fringe guy.
Yeah, supplant a guy like Zay Jones.
Okay.
What do you think about, like, if Zay Jones had to go out there and run Z?
He'd be fine.
Yeah.
He'd be fine. Yeah. He'd be fine. It's just can you just agree? It's like a very vulnerable position group. I think we're on the same page with that. It's vulnerable. You've been much more in-house guy than I have over the last couple of years. It's easier to be in-house.
Carry water for the team.
You do. You're a big show boy. It's easier to be in-house this year because the talent is deep. But this is the one position. I mean, we were sitting there at the top of the second round. It's like, are they going to take Luther Burden? Are they going to take a receiver? Because we didn't know. And it's the same group as last year. But Trey McBride and Elijah Higgins will probably get a lot more targets than they're already going to get if Michael Wilson were to be out. But all right. So
personnel, learn it.
I don't want to. I don't want to learn that.
Did you see where Arthur Smith was running like 0-4 personnel? It was like 4 tight ends.
I guess things can always get worse. For sure. Things can always get worse. What else happened in practice? Well, hang on. Hold that thought. We're going to go to break. We got so much content coming. Drop it like 350 watching live. We appreciate all of you. Who would have thought on a Friday we're talking Micah Parsons and Amari Cooper? What year is it? It's PHNX Cardinal. What time is it? It's time to get out to Gila River Resorts and Casinos. We're going to be out there on August 28th. I'm telling everybody right now, 4:30 show, 6 p.m. live event for the folks in attendance. And then we're going to have our PHNX Fantasy Football Draft Party. Again, get a room, get set up. You do you, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. I was just there with Bo's family, my family. Had a banner time. Again, it's the only place I want to go for a staycation. If I was coming into town, I tell my parents, I tell my wife's parents, you got to go to Gila. And of course, we're going to be there every single away game minus week 1 because we'll be in New Orleans for our watch parties at the largest sportsbook casino in the greater Arizona area, BetMGM Sportsbook. Again, the casino, the hotel, the sportsbook, they are on par with anything you're going to see on the Las Vegas Strip and tenfold. Bo and I, we ate at multiple restaurants. Clean service was immaculate. Food was fantastic. Our rooms were 10 out of 10. And the pool, don't get me started. It is the place to go. Right now, you do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playatgila.com, Bo, for more details.
The pool was cool. Like the water was cold. It wasn't bath water like you're used to this time of year in Arizona.
Enormous.
Yeah, it was enormous. It was fantastic. We loved it. It was a hit for me. It was a hit for the kids. Look, temperatures, remember, high here in Arizona. No secret, Arizona looks for a way to stay cool, comfortable during the summer, but managing your energy bill, it's always a tightrope walk, right? It's tough. It's important to do it. Doing both is a lot easier with the smart thermostat. Smart thermostat you can have as low as $0 from our friends over at APS. They can enroll you into the Cool Rewards program. Yeah, if you're on the APS time of use plan, you can also use your smartphone device to automatically adjust the thermostat to take advantage of a low cost of off-peak hours. That's the strategy right there, and you can really dial into it with a smart thermostat from APS. APS customers may be eligible for a smart thermostat as low as $0 when you enroll in APS Cool Rewards program. If you already have a smart thermostat at home, see if it's eligible and enroll in Cool Rewards. Plus, you get the free install, which is available. That's always great at marketplace.aps.com. You must be an APS customer and pay shipping and taxes. Small fee for big-time rewards. Go to find out the other restrictions that apply, but go to marketplace.aps.com for all the information.
This next segment brought to you by our friends at PhoenixRaceway.com. It's pole position on a football Friday here on PHNX Cardinals. Join Phoenix Raceway October 31st through November 2nd. It's NASCAR weekend, baby. We're looking at pole position. We're looking at that defensive line. Again, you had a chance to chat it up with members of the Cardinals defensive line, including their defensive coordinator. This defensive line is going to be cutthroat. It's going to be a banner to watch over the next couple of weeks. They go to Denver, joint practice, Kansas City Chiefs coming to town. And it's, listen, I asked Jonathan Gannon, how many guys is too many? Can you carry 6? Are you going to carry more than 6? And the money quote is, as you know this, we're not in the business of cutting good football players. Well, who's a good football player that you think is going to sneak through the cracks and be on this team on that defensive line?
I mean, there's so many suspects right now that you can identify. You know, the ones that you can Sharpie in: Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson, Darius Robinson, Walter Nolen when healthy.
Yeah.
I think Dante Stills is approaching, a firm grasp on a roster spot. I think a guy like, who else do we look at?
LJ Collier's in there all the time.
Collier, no doubt about it. Did I mention Dalvin Tomlinson? I mean, he's a lock. Right. If you get to 7, you're looking at, with Walter Nolen included in the 4, you're looking at somebody, I think, with Collier crashing the party, Justin Jones, Bilal Nichols, like those, you're going to have to make a tough decision on one of those 2 guys you signed in free agency the previous offseason. And then, your darling there, Johnny, the voice of an angel, but also fierce, violent, big, Elijah Simmons.
Our sweet boy.
Yeah.
You saw Bilal Nichols today. Is that true?
I may have seen him.
No,
Yeah.
maybe not. Maybe you didn't see him. Maybe I just dreamt that.
He was around. He was around. A lot of people around. BJ Ojolari was around. Yeah.
Okay. Brian saying Justin Jones and Bilal Nichols are gone. It's pretty wild that we're sitting here and we're at least like entertaining the conversation that the three biggest free agents, sans like Mack Wilson Sr. from last offseason, could all be cut.
I think their size and their versatility will keep them going through this as guys who are viable, and you can't count out until the final cuts are made.
With Jones.
Yeah, I mean, Bilal needs to get back on the field. That's his biggest thing.
Bilal's got a month, right?
Yeah.
They cut players.
There's a chance he goes on IR.
And they would do what with him? Just kind of stash him?
Stash him.
I mean, they get 28 days. So I looked last year. They made cuts, I think, on August 28th. It's August 1st now. You got 4 weeks. I mean, like, to really ramp things up, you got to practice for 2-3 weeks minimum. And I mean, like, they'd have to activate Bilal Nichols like tomorrow for to feel good about that. And I think it's just Bilal Nichols unfortunately got hurt on a position group that the Cardinals have been poverty in for a long time. And Austin Ford woke up this offseason and chose violence and busted out the checkbook and assets. And it's just like, man, this is just not good. It's like if you went on leave at your job and you came back and they've outsourced a bunch of jobs that you did before you got here. And you got a bunch of people that are really high level at your job. And it just, sometimes it makes you expendable. If Bilal Nichols was healthy and played well last year, he would be on this team.
Right.
That's the beauty of the NFL. Circumstantial, you have to play and you have to perform. The worst thing you can do, like BJ Ojolari is going to make this team. Why is that, Bo? Because he was a second-round pick and he's making no money. And again, he's got 2 years left on his deal and they're going to try to squeeze that orange. Bilal Nichols is, in his late 20s, was signed to not a robust deal, but I'll use Justin Jones as an example, approaching 30, getting good money to not play last year. He's got to kick ass this preseason. Yeah. So everything is circumstantial with these guys.
Yeah. And I don't think anything plays a role as far as who makes it. Like, I think they're going to really kind of, especially Denver being the big, joint practice, that's going to be a huge evaluation as far as who's going to fit. And we know it's not just like, hey, this guy's the best player at this position. It's like who complements the entire group, who gives the defensive line the best opportunity to succeed. And it's not going to be like, well, like Justin Jones is making this much money and this is, where he can excel. It's just like, no, like does Justin Jones fit with Calais Campbell? Does he fit with Dalvin Tomlinson? Does he fit with the edge rushers, BJ Ojolari? And that plays a role. It's like nothing, just like everything is super calculated with this organization. Like from the coaching hires they made this offseason, that's like they take their time and they make sure that everything's going to fit together like a perfect puzzle. Look at this changing of the guard. As far as this defensive front seven, there's your edge rushers is looking good. And then, the defensive line continues. It's going to be the storyline because we're not going to get any clarity until, maybe the final week of the final preseason game.
Yeah. Lot to decipher. We're breaking it down, plus your super chats. And we got some Nick Rallis highlights coming up. It's PHNX Cardinals. Fired up here on a Football Friday to talk to you about our friends at Empire. Today, Cardinals laying that foundation. Does it include Micah Parsons? The Micah Parsons of flooring is our friends at Empire today. Honestly, and it's going to be a hell of a lot cheaper. Their flooring experts bring the showroom right to your home. Again, they live and breathe flooring, and they're going to be with you every step of the way. It's a whole different ball game. Get precise measurements taken, have all of your questions answered. So there's no surprises. Get upfront, all-inclusive pricing. You can schedule installation as soon as today. Nobody likes to wait. And again, we're going to hook you up right now, whether it's tile, flooring, you need hardwood, you need carpeting, whatever you need. PHNX listeners can receive a $350 discount with the bonus code PHNX. All you got to do, go to empiretoday.com/PHNX for all the details. Again, plug in that bonus code PHNX for $350. Empire Today. Get what you need. Level up your hardwood. Let's go.
If you're dealing with those big box stores, it's like negotiating with Jerry Jones. Like he's not going to be able to give you any info on those flooring. Mountain America Credit Union. Yeah, you signed maybe a $40+ million extension. Yeah, then you're going to need to go put that somewhere away. How about Mountain America Credit Union? They've got, of course, the needs of a checking account, have a savings account with built-in benefits. Mountain America's My Style Credit account has perks for you. You can enjoy restaurant deals, mobile phone protection. We all need that. Telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. It's the My Style, Your Lifestyle checking account at Mountain America Credit Union. Visit macu.com/mystyle to apply. You're not going to regret it. Go do your banking with Mountain America Credit Union. There's so many perks. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no cost registration and activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply. Check it out. Mountain America Credit Union, macu.com/mystyle to apply.
Everybody be sure to like this video. Become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. We welcomed a new diehard today via the Twitter streets. Let me pull up. Yes. Jack. Appreciate you, Jack. Amongst all the Micah Parsons hoopla. That was a sight for sore eyes. So we appreciate you, Jack. Get into that member Discord, get cooking, and excited to hopefully see you at some of our events. As Ed points out in the chat, love being a card-carrying diehard. Ed, we love you, brother. Hopefully you're able to come out to the 28th on August at Gila. But regardless, we got so many events coming up. Literally the best Cardinal community. Even before I joined PHNX Sports as a host here on the show, I was looking for a community like this. I would have killed for it, as a younger Cardinal fan, and now it's right here. And I think our Discord is as good as it gets, man. I know there are a lot of Discords out there. The Reddit boards can be a little dicey. This is the place to be.
Spent a lot of time on Reddit.
In my younger years, it's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
It is a great community. It's fantastic. Got to see a bunch of great people out there at State Farm Stadium, including Schaff. Continues out there. His Iron Man streak continues out at the public practices. And I think we finally got him in the Discord. You're going to have to check in after the show. I might have dropped a couple Easter eggs in there. I don't know.
Oh, wow. About what?
I don't know. You have to figure it out.
Oh, my goodness. How's that for a tease?
Now, you got to get access, though. How about the low $36 for the year? That's what it's going to do for you. Training camp special. Get access to all my practice notes. Red and white scrimmage tomorrow, and Easter eggs in the Discord.
Here's an Easter egg. We're going to OT, baby. Overtime! Thank you to all of our friends watching on one of our many streaming platforms over at gophnx.com. We're going to OT. We got super chats, 8 and counting. But before we get to those, Bo, you had a chance to chop it up with what we feel like future head coach of the making, defensive coordinator Nick Rallis. What did our favorite DC have to chat about today?
Well, we talked about a ton of different conversations from Mac Wilson, the conversation as far as him switching from Will to Mike linebacker, and it was just kind of informal. Really, what Nick Rallis says, like, I kind of asked him.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, you want to play Mike? He's like, sure, it sounds great. And then they did it. And how the transition's been great. Baron Browning, he was incredibly complimentary of a guy entering his second season with the team, first full offseason he spent with the Cardinals. You can check out all those clips, of course, at PHNX_Cardinals, but also kind of got into a little discussion about the playbook.
Honestly, we went back and forth on a staff for about 2 months, and it took that process of going through that to really actually figure out, man, wow. When we finally got to the end of it, we were like, well, this is actually now really simple, and we definitely made it the best we could. I'm glad that we took our time going through that. And then last night, Sweaty starts telling me about how dumb it is. I'm like, Sweaty, like, this took us 2 months. He's like, why don't we just do this? I'm like, no, Sweaty, man, we had 2 months, man. Let's just try it for a little bit longer.
Love it. I made a joke on Twitter. I said, can we allow Josh Sweat to have some input on the offensive playbook? But, is that not funny?
Wow.
I think that's funny.
Wow.
Go up to maybe a certain OC and be like, hey, this is dumb. Can we get Marv the ball, please?
And what else do we have? Is the other clip where I got alpha? I got bulldogged in the press room.
Let's
Yeah,
see
Nick Rallis liked it. Here's me getting just bulldogged.
Given the fact that
It's getting competitive in here right now, but I will answer both questions. I promise. We're in a competing phase. I don't know if JG said that. Roles will get defined when we get to the season, okay? But I love the competitive nature in here.
If it's a competition, I didn't answer my question first. So did I win or lose?
I wasn't there to protect you. I'm sorry. I'll be back tomorrow, hand in hand, and we will bulldoze our way to getting our question.
Okay. It's okay. I'm very
I'm
gracious.
there for you, brother.
I'll give the floor to any reporter that wants to ask a question. I feel confident I'm going to get mine in.
This is where I
No,
say
it was funny. No, loved seeing me have to shut up.
some guys just want it more. I don't know. We need you to like. It's like you're like almost the Baron Browning of the show. It's like you get a little pressure and you can't finish. Can't finish the sack. Can't finish the question. Let's go. Come on, finish the job.
What was that? Was that a compliment?
I don't know.
Was that a compliment from you, or what was it?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that. No. Good stuff from Rallis. I mean, this defense is going to be really good. I don't have any issues with it, which is why like the Parsons thing is, is the ultimate luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah. ESPN, did you see this garbage? Dropped the Cardinals in the coaching rankings. They had the Cardinals staff 20th last year. They dropped them to 23rd this year. They're basically saying like this, and I would think it was our guy Solak, little Benjamin Solak, ripped the Cardinals coaching staff, said, they got to win more games, 12-22. And I think, I don't know, man.
They were a tear down rebuild. They went 4-13 year one.
Yeah,
of course, you're going to have a lot of losses over 2 seasons.
Let me read you some coaching staffs he has over Arizona's, Chicago's at 22nd, Browns 21st, Patriots at 20th, Dolphins at 19th. How about the Colts, the 18th best coaching staff? All those people, they have their pink slips already. They will be fired. Bengals coaching staff with Zach Taylor and Dan Pitcher and Al Golden crushing it. Mike McDonald at 16. Then you've got Tomlin, and then you get into like the elites. But yeah, they have disrespected Gannon and company. I just, you're
egregious,
right?
It's terrible.
I think Bruce Arians ruined it in the best possible way for all future coaches of this franchise, because it's hard to win, and he won year one. But with the window in which he won, I think there was a good foundation by Rod Graves of some young players budding, like Calais and Patrick Peterson. There were some guys that you were like, okay, we can build around. And then you got Carson Palmer, and they won 10 games right away.
Yeah.
And then you look at what Steve Keim did to this roster for 10 years, sabotaging Steve Wilkes, to some extent sabotaging Cliff Kingsbury's ability to lead this franchise. And now Gannon and Ossenfort are paying the brunt of just 10 years of draft malpractice and bad contracts. You cannot overcome that in the NFC West. You can overcome that in other divisions. You cannot do that here.
I think BA also had an advantage. Like he faced a little bit of hardball, but not for the most part. He missed them. It was the homeless head coach who was living in his car, ripping farts at the press conference. Yeah, Tom Sula, and then like Chip Kelly, right? And then it was Jeff Fisher. It wasn't Sean McVay. It was really all he had to deal with consistently was Pete Carroll.
And then they traded blows. And then what happened when McVay got here? I love Bruce Arians. McVay destroyed those Arian teams. Those games were not competitive in 2016, 2017. And a lot of people believe like they saw the writing on the wall. They're like, all right, we're done. We're getting out of here. Palmer's old. And then he went a year later and went to Tampa Bay. It was like, this division will humble you. It is crippling from a coaching perspective. If you're not grading on a curve, I'm sorry. I would love to be in the AFC East with the Jets and the Dolphins, right? And the Patriots now, who are egregiously bad. Like, I'm sure Mike Vrabel is going to get some lollipop wins in that division. But if the Cardinals were to fire Jonathan Gannon, unequivocally, without a doubt in my mind, the next coach they get would be a substantial downgrade.
Yeah.
unequivocally, if they fired Monty Ossenford, they would take 20 steps back. And Michael Bidwell knows that. Michael Bidwell's not parting ways with this regime.
Right.
I get it. We want instant gratification. It was disappointing how the season ended last year. You were out of your mind. They were so fortunate to land this regime in 2021 or 2023 offseason. We were covering this team. People were declining interviews, declining jobs. The Cardinals couldn't give this job away at one point. And now it's like, well, I don't know. Gannon, I don't know if he's got the goods to be able to win this year. You're nuts. You are absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Do we want to table the Madden stuff? Do we want to get into the Madden stuff?
We'll table it.
Yeah.
That's just going to make me even more upset.
We have so many super chats here. And we've got one more day of shows, by the way. We're going to be live tomorrow from State Farm Stadium for our annual post red and white scrimmage post game. Let's get to some super chats here. It was great to see Topic 64 out there in the stands. Said hi. Great to see you, bro. Wishing JV was there. Yep.
Topic 64. Appreciate you. Appreciate what you do to support this show. And I'll be out there tomorrow. Hope to see you there. Yeah. Hope to see a special year from this Cardinal team, this Cardinal secondary. Absolutely.
I think you'll be hearing from Topic 64 when you see him out there. But always great to chop it up. The most respectful and great guy. Brian P, $5. Are solo pass rushers worth it? What were the team records of Bosa, Parsons, Watt, Hendrickson, Garrett led pass rush rooms? One playoff team.
They are worth it. It's the second most important position in the NFL, in my opinion. Maybe the third behind tackle. Quarterback, tackle, pass rusher. But Brian, I hear you. They don't directly. You have to have everything else to win a championship. But let me ask you this. Cowboys have played in a lot of postseason games with Micah Parsons. TJ Watt's made the playoffs a lot. Trey Hendrickson's been in the playoffs a lot. Nick Bosa's been in the playoffs a lot. Joey Bosa. And then Myles Garrett's the outlier because the Browns are just a horrendous franchise. But, I mean, they're getting there. I'd love to get there. I'd love to be able to host the show and do a post-game show from a playoff game. And if you traded for Micah Parsons, it would, I don't want to say it would guarantee that. It would almost guarantee that. And I don't take that for granted for a franchise that misses the postseason more times than not.
But also in a good position to have success without Micah Parsons. Right. And I like BP's point here. BA, Brian checking in. List, prepare yourself, Dante Stills. You know Johnny wants you traded. And Clancy wants to give Parsons number 11.
Did you see that today?
I did see that. But I also thought I saw he didn't want Parsons. So he's like, no, but he's like, but here's our franchise legend's number.
That would be a horrific. No one should ever wear 11 again. I'm not all about retiring numbers, but the greatest player in your franchise, you should retire that number.
Right. It was like when Abdul Carter asked for 56. And Lawrence Taylor was like, no,
doing that.
You're a rookie. Taco Corp, Johnny.
$199, another trade package with JV and Dante Stills. But in the best possible way, it's an honor and a privilege to be in a trade package with Micah Parsons. Am I upsetting people when I include good players in a package for a great player?
You're upsetting Dante Stills. Brandon, $5. Hopefully Petzing didn't see the Steelers there yet. Yeah, he saw this as well. Roll out a 0-4 personnel. We don't need him getting any crazy ideas. I was like, please hide all Twitter app, all reporting of Arthur Smith and his mad scientist ways there in Pittsburgh.
You're going to see it tomorrow. If they're missing Mike and Marv, you're going to see the grossest of the gross. Who's their fourth? I don't
disagree with it, though, with Arthur Smith. He's like, our quarterback is ancient. We need as much protection as possible.
Who's the fourth tight end on the Arizona Cardinals?
Probably Travis Vokolek.
Right. Could they run 4 tight end sets tomorrow? Maybe.
Please don't.
Maybe. Just put Trey at receiver, and then the rest of those guys are just playing traditional tight end roles. Graham, $5. Johnny Live keeps me awake at 5-hour drives at 1 a.m. in UK. Hell yeah, brother. Wish Surename had connections to Micah to bring him to AZ. Keep up the top work. We appreciate you, Graham. Watching from the UK.
Love that. Top
Get
work.
caffeinated. Don't drive off the roads.
Yeah, that's right. Stay safe. And yeah, Johnny doing a public service and keeping you awake. That's fantastic. Keeping it going with Chef, who I said saw out there today. Our first PHNX Die Hard Fantasy Football League is now taking names of those who wish to participate. Leave me your name and I'll be in touch. Leave a message at Shaft0668. Our draft will be August 28th. I did. I gave the invite, Johnny, to our event on August 28th.
Perfect.
Get out there. You're a diehard. It's free for you. Just RSVP and you're in out of Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Like, we're going to be doing the fantasy, the PHNX Fantasy Football League. Like, we can also double down and do this.
We're going to do that.
Yeah.
We are going to do that. I think there are probably going to be 12 spots. Like, there's 12 spots in our league. And then I'll put a sweetener on this. If you're in the Die Hard Fantasy League and you come to the draft, you have to participate in person at the draft on the 28th, and you win that league, we will give you, like, there will be a substantial prize from PHNX Sports.
Ooh, I like that.
We've got merch, we've got t-shirts, we've got autographs. The winner of it, and we'll iron this out, obviously, before the.
No, you're laughing because he hasn't run this through past anybody. He has no idea what it's going to be.
I can make this.
He has no authority to do
yes,
so.
I do. I have absolute authority to do this.
You sit in front of a microphone and just
The
deliver.
amount of free stuff that's just up for grabs that I don't get my hands on, I'm going to peruse around that.
But that's
studio.
not substantial. We got to think of something good.
Well, I mean, like, it will be a hell of a package for the winner of this league, but you have to be a diehard and you have to be there on the 28th.
Yeah.
12 spots for Shaft's league, for the Die Hard Fantasy League. And the package will be the greatest package we've ever given out at PHNX Sports. How about that? I will task Max Simpson with that.
No, don't task Max with anything. You want it done, talk to Espo. Trace, $4.99. Bo Melton converted to DB. Who has a better year, Max or Bo? Just wanted to get your guys' thoughts.
Is he saying
Max
you're
Melton's
playing?
a really good defensive back. Max Melton's going to be good. Bo Melton, I have no idea.
Who's Bo Melton?
It's his brother. He was a receiver for the Packers.
Oh, whoops. No, he'll be bad. Max Melton will be good.
It's so tough to do at the pro level to make a position switch, especially to the other side of the football.
Bo Melton, 26
Max is
years
like,
old.
not to be disrespectful to Bo. I mean, he's my name, brethren. But Max is good. He's a good player at his position.
He had 94 yards last year. Yeah, position change, 91 yards. Position change probably in order. You seen what's his name? Watson, the Texas receiver. What's his name? Who they take it?
Matthew Golden?
Matthew Golden, excuse me.
Yeah. And his weird number 22 jersey. Yeah.
The receiving core looks good. So I'd be changing positions too. Cardiac Cards, $199. So don't drive 30 minutes for an MHJ autograph. Bo, tell everybody what's going to happen tomorrow and be held accountable.
I'm confident that Marvin Harrison Jr. isn't dealing with a serious injury here as far as the knee. I think he'll be back shortly, but I cannot confirm or deny that he's going to be out there tomorrow.
I think he'll be there. Like, he could sign. He could be in like shorts and a t-shirt and sign.
Good point. Great point.
I think he'll be there.
Awesome.
I don't know if he'll be in pads.
You want his autograph? I think you got a good chance of still doing that.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I've seen enough from Marv. Honestly, I want to see Marv against Patrick Surtain in a couple weeks in that joint practice we're gonna be at in Denver. Darth Vader, $4.99. I'm sad that I will miss the game versus the Chiefs. Hopefully, I'll see the D-backs get a win. That's on Star Wars night, I believe, at Chase Field. So excited about that, but we'll see. I mean, Cardinals they, with all due respect, kind of punted on the preseason last year. And the Chiefs, under Andy Reid, historically play a lot of starters, at least for a little while. Gannon has not. Folks have asked him, you've asked him, like, what the plan is, and they have not revealed the plan. But I would love a possession or two, but I don't think we're going to see that.
I still think it's probably a bad mood to watch the Diamondbacks over the Cardinals preseason game at this point. Diamondbacks are dead.
Nice trade haul.
They got I think they got 10 or 12 prospects, but it's not going to help their big league roster. Brian, I don't know if anybody wants to see this. JV going to offer boudoir photos to the winner. Noah's disturbed by that one.
Yeah,
that's like usually a significant other will dress up in lingerie and do a photo shoot
I don't
for
think
you.
you need to get detailed on this. I think we've heard enough. ARC $2. If I live out of state, can I still be in the league? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You gotta get in with Shaft, and again, no problem. We'll take care of that. And if you win, we'll ship it to you. I just want to encourage, if you live here, to come to the event on the 28th. Yeah. Hopefully that's still an incentive in and of itself. We try to take care of everybody. No doubt about it. Yeah, man, what a show today.
Big thanks to Shaft for taking on leading the charge as far as the listener diehard fantasy football league. Somebody's got to take the initiative, not the three idiots that are on the show.
I will definitely give you Pizza Hut cups, no doubt about it. I sent it one year for Bo's birthday.
Drink at them every night.
That's a lie. I've never seen.
I do. Brian, stop.
Things are getting outrageous. Listen, I'm going to tell everybody right now. Tomorrow's going to be a blast. We're going to be at the red and white scrimmage. Come out, say what's up. If they let us roam the sidelines. Did they have the seats out again today?
Yeah.
That could be tough tomorrow. You think they'll put people in those seats tomorrow?
I don't know the answer to that. They didn't last year. They're just preparing them for, I think, the following week. Yeah. Brian, if he does do it with the Chewbacca mask, it'd be very tasteful.
None of this is happening. No, we lose every diehard member in about 30 seconds. Here's what we're not going to lose. Your support when you drop a like on this video. Again, subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. Barreling our way to 50,000 subscribers. And again, big day tomorrow. We're going to be out there, full coverage, wall-to-wall, the red and white practice. Going to get there bright and early. Gannon talks before practice, so we'll have a definitive answer on participation of Marv, Michael Wilson, among others. And then, of course, a little run-through post-game show that will come not immediately after the practice, but after availability for players. So, probably right around our typical show time of about 4:30 tomorrow.
Yeah, should be right around that time. And make sure you're subscribed to PHNX Sports. We got highlights from today's action coming your way. Don't want to miss that. Got the full recap as far as the practice went. So it was a banner day out there. Walter Nolen was out there. BJ Ojulari was out there. Bilal Nichols, Marvin Harrison Jr. Hopefully Cardinals will get some good luck health-wise here shortly. But can't wait. This is always one of the best days on the calendar, the red and white scrimmage tomorrow. Don't miss out on any of the action. Make sure you're following along on socials at Johnny Venerable, at Bo Brack, and, of course, at PHNX_Cardinals in sports. Johnny for Noah, I'm Bo Brack. Guys, have a great Friday night. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Saturday. PHNX Cards.
We all silly like the mayor.